The female CEO accidentally noticed her deceased husband's hand move. She didn't immediately call a doctor for rescue but decisively nailed the coffin shut. Then she dug a deep hole and buried her husband. When her mother-in-law hurried there, it was already too late. By then, her son's gravestone had already been set up. In her previous life, the woman was destitute and had her legs broken. While picking up trash, she was shocked to discover her husband, who had been dead for 3 years, was with her best friend. She realized this scumbag had faked his death. His goal was to be with his white moonlight. Not only that, this scumbag and his mistress borrowed a huge amount of money in her name, leading to her company's bankruptcy and her legs being broken by creditors. Just when the woman was at her lowest, her missing son reappeared. This brought her great comfort, but the next second, her son pushed her down the stairs. Before she died, the woman learned that the son she raised for years was the scumbag and his mistress's illegitimate child. The son had never been missing. It was all a thorough scheme against her. She vowed that if there was a next life, she would make them pay for their blood debts. When the woman opened her eyes again, she was shocked to find she had been reborn, and it was the day her husband faked his death. Recalling the painful lessons of her past life, she gritted her teeth in anger, swearing to make them pay a painful price. Meanwhile, the family of 3 was still dreaming of a bright future after his fake death. The thought of her taking on huge debts for him excited him. To avoid exposing their scheme, the manipulative best friend said she would wait at the airport and left. Meanwhile, the thoughtful son not only got a death certificate using his medical student status, but also prepared a fake death formula for the scumbag. With it, he would appear just like a corpse. Though unable to move, he could hear everything around him. Everything went as it had in her past life. The woman received a call from her son about her husband's death. She feigned shock and said she would arrive immediately. After hanging up, she quickly dialed her assistant, instructing them to buy a grave plot and that she would personally send the scumbag off. Soon, she arrived at her husband's fake death scene. To make her performance more convincing, she even put in eye drops and cried as she rushed into the funeral hall. The woman thought she could take her revenge calmly, but upon seeing the man, she couldn't suppress her anger. She grabbed him and started beating him. Seeing the scumbag endure it without waking up, she immediately grabbed a coffin nail and stabbed his arm several times. This frightened her son, who rushed forward to stop her, but the woman pushed him aside without care. She only stopped when her son showed her the forged death certificate. At that moment, the obedient son handed her the manipulated milk tea to drink. The woman realized that in her previous life, she had fainted after drinking the milk tea, which caused her to miss the entire burial of the scumbag. Thinking of this, she quickly pushed the tea back and let her son drink it instead. She said her real father had always favored him and she wouldn't fight him for it. She urged her son not to disappoint his real father's kindness. While her son was unsure of what to do, the woman then called the medical university, saying she wanted to donate her husband's body to be used for medical teaching. This startled her son, who quickly tried to stop her, but the woman said it was her husband's last wish. She was only honoring his choice. With no other option, the son secretly ran out to call his grandmother and ask her to come quickly. Soon, people from the medical university arrived, and it just so happened that the son's university professor was among them. The professor praised him for donating his father's body right away. Meanwhile, the woman's mother-in-law was urgently pedaling a tricycle toward the old house. At the moment the professor began to handle the body, the mother-in-law arrived at the scene. She insisted that no one could move her son's body. The woman quickly explained she was just fulfilling his last wish, but the old lady refused to listen. With no choice, the woman let the medical staff leave. She then took the prepared milk tea and handed it to her mother-in-law to calm her down. After drinking, the old lady suddenly fainted in 5 seconds. When the son returned and asked what happened, the mother quickly explained that it was likely due to the old lady's high blood pressure and emotional distress. She urged the son to take her to the hospital for an examination. Once everyone left, the woman immediately arranged to have the scumbag secretly moved, and without stopping, they headed straight for the cemetery. At the cemetery, she had a 10-meter deep pit dug by an excavator, then had the coffin sealed and buried, all in one go. When the old lady arrived, she was stunned. Her son's gravestone was already standing. Seeing this, the old lady angrily scolded her daughter-in-law for burying her son. When the son arrived, he demanded that his real father be dug up, but the woman retorted, asking how a medical student could not know how to face death. The son had no response. The old lady, thinking the scumbag might still be alive, ordered the woman to dig him up and bury him in their ancestral grave, but the staff said it had been too long. Even if he were alive, he would have suffocated. However, the old lady didn't care, sitting on the ground and throwing a tantrum. She accused the woman of killing her son, but the woman remained indifferent, turning to her good friend. She immediately walked over to thank her for coming to pay her respects, and mentioned that she would hold a memorial for the scumbag the next day, asking her to come. Just as the friend thought her plot had been discovered, an enraged mother-in-law picked up a cleaver and charged at the woman.